Hi, my name's Laura. I'm from a small town in eastern Iowa, and today I'm trying to not heat up the kitchen and still make a good meal. So I'm making like a Instapot, skillet, lasagna, hamburger helper knockoff, homemade type dish. So to start, I have a pound of ground venison that we have seasoned with sausage seasoning when we processed our deer. So I'm browning all that up in my Instant Pot. That sound you hear in the background is my freeze dryer running. It is continuously running this pretty much this time of year through the fall. Right now it is seeing lots and lots and lots of eggs. So that's what's going on there. My Instant Pot, I just set it to pressure cook for just I think I did 2 or 3 minutes just to help thaw out this meat because it was completely frozen. I had this bag of diced onions left in the fridge. It's probably like, a third of a cup of onions. So I'm throwing that in for some flavor along with some garlic, and we'll get that stirred around and start cooking. I recently remembered I had my grandma's pasta roller, so I used some of my eggs and some flour to make a pasta dough, and it turned out pretty good, except for when it dried it kind of curled up. So I'm going to use those today as my pasta. So I think I had this set on like saute mode to try and cook it faster. It's pretty much all the way cooked, and I decided for some veg I'm going to add some freeze-dried zucchini, and zucchini itself is pretty awesome. It just absorbs the flavor, but this, like, it's so light as a feather, but it just like melted in and you could barely see it, and it happened very fast. And as you can see, you can barely see the zucchini in there. I honestly don't even think my husband realized it was in it when he was eating it, which he likes zucchini, but I don't know that he would have chosen to add it here. But I've got 2 different jars here. The first one is spaghetti sauce that I put up. Has the seasoning in it. It's great. Beautiful color. Wonderful. The second one was just extra tomato sauce. No seasonings, nothing fancy. So I'm adding that in, throwing some water in the jar, giving it a swirl to try and get some of that extra out. We want to save all that flavor, and we worked really hard to put it up, so I want to use it. Now I'm just giving a stir, and because I'm using some dry pasta, I definitely want to add more, so I'm going to add this quart of just regular tomato sauce. Now, what I should have done is, because I added that tomato sauce, I should have added a little bit of sugar to help cut the acidity, because it was a little acidic. So if you're going to do this, add, maybe a tablespoon of sugar along with that jar. So here I have some parsley and basil that I had picked from the garden, and these have pretty much dried out. I could have went down to the garden and cut fresh, but it was in like the 100 heat index, and I did not want to walk all the way back to our 3/4 acre just to get some herbs. So we're using some that I had already harvested and that we're drying. So I'm just crumbling that in, basil and parsley, however much you like, that suits your fancy. So now that my sauce is nice and hot and bubbly, I'm going to just take and break these apart like I would a normal like store-bought lasagna sheet. And I didn't really know how many to add because I wanted it to not be too saucy, but I also didn't want to be too thick. So you'll see every once in a while I'll sit, I'll put my noodle down and stir, and I honestly couldn't tell you how much I added, but I do think I added the most perfect amount. I don't know how I'd ever replicate that, but hey, it was good tonight. So in my cottage cheese container, I have some leftover ravioli filling. And all I did was take my cottage cheese and I took an immersion blender and blended it. And then I added Parmesan cheese and parsley and basil to it. So I'm going to add some of that in here and give it a good stir. So I'm going to set this to saute for 5 minutes, and then I'm checking it now, giving it a good stir. I am going to add a little bit more of the cottage cheese filling into it, and it's looking really good. I think it's a good consistency, but I think it needs more of that cheese, so I add more in, and then I'm just going to put the lid on it and put it on warm because it's not quite dinner time quite yet. All right, it's time. Oliver's hungry. I'm pretty hungry. I didn't have lunch this particular day, and I think it looks amazing. It's had time to really meld all those flavors. The noodles are cooked perfectly, so I'm just incorporating that extra cheese we added there towards the end. And we're gonna get this served up. This was really good. My husband came in maybe like a half hour after we got done, and he had a bowl, and this obviously was plenty. We were able to have lunches too. So yeah, we're just trying to find ways, different things to cook to where we don't have to heat up the kitchen. The grill is nice too, but who wants to stand out in front of a grill in 100-degree heat index? So, but appreciate you guys joining, and I hope I will catch you guys next week when we have some more fun in the kitchen.